Hey, my name is Zeus Tipado, a writer for Healing Maps, and let's talk about a psychedelic that doesn't give you a visual trip, but an auditory one. There's something called DiPT, which is diisopropyltryptamine, and unlike most psychedelics, it only produces audio hallucinations, no visuals at all. Just an extraordinarily wild auditory psychedelic experience. But it's way wilder than you think. Neurologically, we believe DiPT hits the same 5-HT receptors as your favorite psychedelics like LSD, MDMA, even DMT. The recommended dosage of DiPT is 20 to 100 milligrams, and the effects last for 4 to 8 hours. We still don't know how it works, but here's my theory. Your ears could be the goat of your brain, maybe second place to your eyes. Both work in similar ways, which by itself is already mind-blowing. The process of hearing is jaw-droppingly dope, and it involves an extensive process that I will try to summarize in the next 20 seconds. Sound slams into your ear, which makes bones called osseoles move. This vibrates fluid in your cochlea, which is the size of a pea, and it pushes teeny hairs all around. This movement causes neurons connected to your brain to open and close, which in turn creates a signal that your brain can use. Basically, your ears have been converting mechanical signals, which is the physical vibration of sound, to an electrical signal, which are neurons firing off. And you had no idea. The entire time, ever since you've been alive. Give your ears some props on that. That's just how sound works, but I don't think DiPT does anything to that process. I believe DiPT does something after this process, when the sound signal hits deep in the brain. Eventually, those sound signals hit your auditory cortex, or A1, which is like a layered sandwich of oozy neurons on neurons. It's believed to be about 6 total layers, no condiments, just a buffet of brain cells. These neurons in your A1 are mostly for processing pitch frequencies and temporal response patterns, like determining where and when a sound came from. This is super important, especially since people that take DiPT report bizarre pitch frequencies in sound. So DiPT could be interfering with those A1 pitch frequencies in interesting ways. But there's also an A2 auditory cortex. This could explain some other reported auditory hallucinations from DiPT that are just straight up spooky. People that trip on DiPT say that while listening to a person's voice, entire sounds will be left out of a word. Sometimes additional sounds are added to words when a person speaks. That's pretty weird. The A2 area processes things like phonemes, which is the basic sound that distinguishes one word from the next. Think of phonemes as Lego pieces that have distinct shapes, but you need to assemble them in a certain way to see or hear the bigger picture. DiPT most likely has the ability to modulate sound being processed directly in the A1 and A2 auditory cortex. And that would be dope. It would show that DiPT has a greater effect on the brain than what we imagine. DiPT could also modulate sound processing in the medial geniculate nucleus, MGN, which is the auditory area of the thalamus, a part of the brain responsible for filtering our reality. And that's really all I have to say about the neuroscience of DiPT. There hasn't been any clinical research on this specific psychedelic. Also, don't ask me to take DiPT. No way! Can't be me.